Hey everyone. I'd like to welcome everyone to Nanaimo Design Advisory Panel, September 11th, 2025. I hope everyone had a wonderful summer. First of all, I'd like to get a motion for approving today's agenda as presented. Anyone? Harry, yeah. And seconder? Yeah, Alex, thank you. And okay, all in favor, I guess. Okay, great. Okay, next we need a motion to approve the meeting minutes from July 24th. Yeah, can I get a motion from somebody?
Apologies, Chair. I don't think we can hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear.
Okay, great. Okay, and can I get a motion to approve the minutes from July 24th, 2025?
I was absent on that one, so
Okay. Okay, I don't see any hands. Oh yeah, Alex, okay, I see you, thank you. And a seconder?
Yeah, I think I was there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I believe I was. Yeah.
Okay, great. And all in favor? Okay, wonderful. Okay, so we have two presentations today, two multifamily housing developments, one on 4670 Laguna Way and one on 5360 Bergen Op Zoom Drive. Peyton Carter, our planner, will introduce 4670 Laguna Way, and after which the panel will have the opportunity to ask some questions of the city, and then followed by a presentation by the team. So please, Peyton, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just before I begin, if you are a non-panel member, if you could please have your first and last name shown on the screens for proper minute taking, that would be very helpful for our admin staff. So thank you very much. Development permit application number DP 1387 is for a multifamily townhouse development consisting of 69 units clustered into 15 buildings. The subject property is currently undergoing a concurrent rezoning application to allow for site-specific setbacks and density in the R10 zone, as well as a subdivision application to create 3 additional fee simple lots fronting Ambience Drive. The lot falls within Development Permit Area 5, Wildfire Hazard, Development Permit Area 6, Steep Slopes, and Development Permit Area 8, our Form and Character Development Permit Area. As such, the Steep Slope Development Permit Area guidelines and the Form and Character Design guidelines apply to this project. I'm happy to take any questions following the applicant's presentation. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Peyton. Okay, and sorry, are we doing questions for you right now or after the presentation?
After the presentation.
Okay, fair enough. So who will be presenting tonight?
That's me, Madam Chair.
Okay.
Amin Sandhu from Paramorph Architecture.
Okay. Amin, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Please go ahead and share your screen, and then once you're done presenting, you can stop sharing your screen.
Sure. Just one moment here. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes, we can see you.
Sure. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to present before the advisory design panel and city staff. We appreciate the chance to speak with you about the project. that we believe will bring thoughtful, well-designed housing to a very special part of the city of Nanaimo. 4670 Laguna Way, the property we are looking at, is a large 7.72-acre tree lot just north of Nilni Valley, Cottle Lake Park, nestled within the Rocky Point, Hammond Way, Stephenson Point neighborhood. As you all know, this is quite a green and well-loved area, and we have designed this project with deep respect for its context. We have taken advantage of the contoured site, and being on top of the ridge rather has helped us. There is a difference of approximately 20 meters from north to south in the grade levels, 145 meter being the lowest point and 165 meter approximately at the highest point. Our building designs takes its primary cue from the breathtaking northern vista towards the Strait of Georgia. Every angle, material choice, and spatial orientation has been deliberately crafted to honor and enhance the visual connection to the sweeping coastal expanse. The roofline and terraces are stepped, creating layered outdoor spaces that open up towards the north. The unit layouts are also dictated by the views. About the proposal. The proposed multifamily townhouse development, comprising of 69 townhouse dwelling units, is arranged across 15 buildings. The gross floor area for the development is approximately 13,000 square meters. The site is currently undergoing rezoning application as well, which will allow for a site-specific setbacks and density of 23 units per hectare in the R10 zone. We are also requesting a subdivision of the lot to create 3 fee simple lots which will front along the Ambience Drive, and one rather large lot for the multifamily development site. The vehicular access to the site is proposed from the northeast corner of the site along Ambience Drive. The internal drive aisles are oriented from east to west through the site following contours with minimal disturbance to the natural grading. We have paid close attention to the site conditions, especially the steep slope areas, and worked in collaboration with the civil engineering team to achieve a design which is appropriate for driving convenience and pedestrian mobility. We have tried to minimize slope disturbance. However, some areas of cut and fill and retaining walls will be required to address the grade changes. These would be these would be mostly along the southern property line and along the north buildings 2, 10, and 11. So if I could zoom in here. So these are the buildings where we would need retaining walls along the north property line, and then we would need some retaining walls along the south property line, if you could see my cursor here. A tree retention area in the northern portion of the site has also been proposed, which is a protected area. Also, there is a steep slope area on the southwest part of the site, which will largely remain undisturbed. 3 distinct yet connected outdoor amenity areas are also being proposed. There is a cumulative area of 745 square meters spread over these 3 amenity areas. These will be connected through pedestrian connections. If you could see here, so there's this one outdoor amenity area, the second outdoor amenity area, and the third outdoor amenity area. We have requested for a change in setbacks as well. So along the front setback, the proposed setback is 6 meters. The other setbacks are, we have asked for a variance from 1.5 meter to 4.5 and 6 meters. As per city's parking guidelines, we were required to provide 2 spaces per 3 or more bedroom units. Keeping in line with those requirements, we have provided 161 parking spaces, out of which 23 visitor parking spaces have been provided, which are scattered all throughout the site. So we have provided 2 in this pocket, few in this pocket, and then between these buildings, a few parking spaces along these buildings, and then 3 visitor parking spaces in the separate area, which is perched top of the site. The buildings are thoughtfully designed. Let me go to the um, The buildings are thoughtfully designed with a modern and contemporary approach while remaining grounded in the natural surrounding through the use of vernacular material palette. A mix of hardy siding in natural wood tones and textures is paired with clean white and charcoal gray accents. We wanted to focus on a timeless combination and create a warm yet refined aesthetic. There is a visual cohesion for the entire project. The peaked roof lines offer subtle nod to the West Coast architectural style, blending tradition with modern form. Covered verandas and balconies supported by posts give a strong character to the buildings. Living areas within the units are thoughtfully oriented to make most of the incredible views towards the state of Georgia towards the north. Expansive windows and private balconies and patios not only invite abundant natural light, but also create a strong visual and physical connection to the outdoors, reinforcing a sense of openness and livability in every home. There are 4 different unit floor plans ranging from 163 to 221 square meters in area, many with walk-out basements and private outdoor spaces. Whether it's a young family, a downsizer, or someone looking to live closer to the parks and trails, we have tried to make this community inviting for a range of people. Buildings 4 to 7 along the south property line, which are these buildings, are perched along the topmost part of the site. Considering the ridge line beyond these buildings, they will sit below the tree line. We are requesting for a height variance for these buildings. The allowed maximum height is 9 meters, and we are proposing a variance of 1.5 to 2 meters. We know this part of Nanaimo is growing and there's a need for housing that fits into established neighborhoods without overwhelming them. This project offers gentle increase in density with homes that still feel part of the surrounding community, not apart from it. In closing, we believe this development brings together the best of both worlds, modern livable homes, and a strong connection to the natural beauty of the area. In design, we have taken care and with the goal of becoming a meaningful part of this community. Thank you again for your time and consideration. I'll hand it over to Rebecca and Angel from PMG. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Aman, for that great presentation. I am
Thank you.
going to share my screen now to make sure that we can see our landscape drawings. I'll send this request. Thank you. So again, I don't need to reiterate much about the site plan in general, but I can get a little more in depth into the landscape design. Let me go full screen here. So just starting with the west side of the site plan, could someone please confirm that they could see this?
Yes, we can.
Thank you very much. Okay, great. So this is our most expansive amenity area that we've carved out into the hillside here. We do have a bioswale running along this edge to collect any water coming off of the slope. It also creates a nice element for children to play in, also an educational opportunity to our mind as well. We've got a picnic table and benches in this large sod lawn area, as well as a paver area next to the parking, which of course is separated by landscape and trees to ensure some screening. This is where we've got our largest amenity area playground. So we've got play structures, we've got a log circle here. It's all set in 5-bar resilient safety surfacing. There's also a spinner, some interesting benches and tables, lots of great play opportunities here, and really still, I think, fits in well to the natural environment as well. And then you also see we've indicated this stamped asphalt pathway that's along the edge of the drive aisle, and that actually connects to our more central amenity areas here. So as we've noted, there's quite a grading opportunity or challenge on this site. So this central amenity area is really sort of 3 terraced spaces where one can sit and gather. We've got a fire pit below with a Ogden curved bench along the retaining walls, and a 5% path that leads you up to another seating area, and yet a third that's perched here on top. Again, we're connecting with our stamped asphalt pathways, which, you know, don't take away from the drive aisle. They're still fully drivable and accessible to vehicles, but they still indicate a bit more safety for pedestrians traveling through the site. And of course, we've got our sort of tip top of the site as far as amenity goes here. Underneath some catenary lights, there's an outdoor dining area here for the residents. You may also note there are maintenance pathways to all of the yards throughout the townhomes. Each unit has their own private patio. We have chosen to not indicate very much lawn in these yards. The reason mainly being is maintenance and access to these yards, not to mention the amount of shade, of course, that's going to be in some of these spaces. It's just not a great option. It will also help limit the strata fees and, you know, amount of people sort of coming through these yards. But so all that to say, a maintenance person can still access all of these units if they need to, and that each unit has their own nice private space with a tree, a patio, some planted area, and of course, a safe way to access those amenity areas as well. I think I'll leave it at that. Thank you very much, all of you, for your time, and I will stop sharing now. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you, Rebecca, and thank you, Aman, for the presentation. So this is the part where if we can ask some questions for the city, if we have anything for Peyton. Does anyone have anything for her? I guess I have a question for Peyton. There are some setbacks and variances in height that are being exceeded. Does the city have any concerns regarding this? It's a complicated site because of the slopes.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. We are still in the early process of reviewing the requested variances, so I'm not able to comment on staff support at this time, but it would absolutely be within the scope of the design panel to comment on them if they felt it was appropriate.
Okay, so this is a good time to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so next I'll just call on the different panel members, and they can provide their comments and questions for you. Maybe we can start with Harry, please.
Yeah, thank you for the presentation. I agree with the staff comments overall, especially to differentiate the buildings with a different colored hardy product, not for each building. Right now it just all blends together, or maybe some wayfinding on each building to know where you're going. The site and landscape is good. Also, another staff comment was a continuous pedestrian network, a walkway, as in the new form and character design guidelines. Prioritizes pedestrians and not vehicles. So I appreciate where you connected all the amenities, the 3 amenity areas, but I think it needs sidewalks all the way through the project. The height variance, I'm good with that. With the steep slopes, it's minimal, and you got your slope roof lines on your steep slope. You're not going to notice that the height variance. Other than that, I think it's a well considered project, and I'm supporting of moving it forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Harry. That's great. Okay, and Jessica, would you be able to speak?
Hello. Can I be heard okay?
Yes, you're heard well.
Excellent, thank you. Only a couple of comments, and in line with Harry's comment about connectivity. recognize the connection between the common amenity spaces, but also feel that it's very important to provide a pedestrian network, possibly multi-use path for pedestrians and non-vehicular traffic. It's a very large development, and I think we're trying to encourage people to use alternate forms of transportation, and making it safe to do so is really important. So again, that's a staff comment that I think is really important to address. And my second comment is regarding the building design, also a staff comment, and I'm concerned about bird strikes in that environment. And with the highly sloped property and being so embedded in a natural environment close to the lake and Lindley Valley, I think wildlife's a concern. And so there was a comment from staff about the extensive glazing and possibly changing out the railing from a glazed railing to something that's more bird friendly, not glazed, and if there are any other options to reduce the potential for bird strikes in expansive glazing, that would be a good idea to address. And that's it for my comments. It's a very, very large, expansive development that is going to bring a lot of housing to the area. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jessica. Okay, and Kate, would you be able to provide comments, please?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I second all the comments that have been said so far, so I won't repeat them. Some additional ones, I think, due to the nature of the number of significant mature trees on site, and I know you referenced saving some, but I think it needs to be clear on which ones are being saved and making sure that cut and fill isn't in their critical root zones. The other one that comes to mind would be just looking at the main outdoor amenity area. I wonder if there's an opportunity to try and relocate those 4 visitor stalls out of that area to expand it. It feels quite like squeezed and tight and kind of a bit left over between the bioswale, which is, I think, a great feature, but then between the road and the parking stalls. So I would recommend looking to see if those stalls could be located elsewhere to expand that area. Let me see what else. So just pulling up my notes. There was talk in the main application about using natural stormwater management systems, bioswales, and so forth to deal with the rainwater runoff. I really love that approach. Right now, it feels like the area and the number is more symbolic rather than being actually functional for the amount of hardscape that's being introduced to this landscape. And so I would recommend reviewing the number and the location of those rain gardens and bioswales to make sure that they can actually manage and capture the amount of hard surfaces that are being added to the site, if that's the design intent. Same thing for the multi-use pathway along the road. Love the idea. I don't know if it's possible, but thinking of trail connections through the existing landscape, it looks like the building 14 and 15 are quite far away from any public amenity space. So I don't know if it's possible to create a trail connection, but that would be wonderful. I think that's it. Otherwise, the other comments are definitely applicable. But yeah. Thanks.
Thank you, Kate, for that thoughtful, for those thoughtful comments. Dushan, please.
Hi. Yes, seconding mostly on the building materials and variations of materials, since we can see the design of the houses are largely equal to one another. So I would strongly suggest that there is some variations in either coloring or even the materials. One of the things that I also noticed and following Keith's comment is that west cluster of buildings seems a bit isolated from the whole community, and since there is a bigger slope on the north side there, maybe to think about connecting that with either stairs or any kind of trail or path in order to connect it to another side on the north side. And also, yes, the sidewalks are pretty important, since we also see that the area is going to include a lot of people, let's say families, who are going to probably play in front of the driveway. So having those sidewalks as an extra would create a bit of securement from that point of view. And as well, also, yes, as said, creating that trail. From the perspective of the landscape, I see that a lot of trees were placed in the backyards, in front of the backyards, and around it, where the front of the driveway and, let's say, connection with the driveway and front of the houses are pretty exposed. We have a couple of trees there, but I would maybe suggest to place some more of them in order to cover that exposure from the driveway itself. And I think that that's mostly it that I can think of right now. Yes. That's all for me.
Okay, thank you, Deshawn. Okay, and Councillor Eastmer, please.
Thank you very much. Yeah, definitely excited to see more of this housing type. I think for families, this is really important. I think there's been really good comments by the panel so far, especially around the pedestrian connections. The bird-friendly glazing, absolutely. You can see even just in the photos, it does look super reflective, and because of the forested area around it, I think we do have new bird-friendly glazing in the design guidelines. So I'll be looking for that when it comes to council. I think that a little bit more color variation could be nice between the different sections of units. I don't have any issues with the variances. So yeah, other than that, thank you very much for bringing this forward, and thanks to the panel for their comments.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Eastmer. Okay, and then last but not least, I guess, is my comments. I wanted to thank you very much for the presentation, and I appreciate the difficulty of dealing with this steep slope that we are presented and maximizing the views. I do really like the way the parking stalls, the visitor parking stalls, have been kind of tucked in between the buildings, so it's not creating one large parking lot somewhere. That I really appreciate that you don't get the feeling of having 20-something parking stalls all in one spot, which is lovely. I agree with Kate's comment of moving those 4 visitor stalls out of that amenity area. It's just going to make a much nicer space. And then I'd like to add that maybe it would be a good idea to provide like a low fence, like just, 3 feet or something, just for kids, just to prevent them from running into the road if they're going to be playing there. It just looks like a really fun spot for them. Yep, so that is pretty much all I have to say. Oh, sorry, there's one more person. I am very sorry. Alex, right? Alex. Oh, I'm so sorry, Alex, I missed you.
Yeah, that's okay. Are you all done though with your comments?
I am, yeah, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll just kind of echo all the other comments. Yeah, I think it's really important to have a pedestrian network. Walkability is very important, especially like in this part of the city, because it's so car centric up there. So yeah, more connectivity that way. And then also, yeah, I agree with the staff comments when it comes to color variation, just for wayfinding and just, yeah, visual it just looks a little better. That's all I have. So, thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Okay, so I'm counting, I guess 7 comments total if we kind of, I'm not sure, Kate, if you want to include formally whether or not to clarify the trees that are being retained. I think that needs to be done, but I think it's not like a,
agree.
right? Okay, so
Yeah,
that's
I
not
agree. Yeah.
yeah, so it just needs to be added to the drawings, but it's not
Yeah.
really something that we're
Yeah.
changing. Okay, so that puts us in at 7 recommendations. Number 1, differentiate buildings with color. That's pretty much everybody's unanimous with that. You can also, the colors are lovely. We can also, you know, do something with the tone maybe as well to provide some variability, but yeah. Number 2, sidewalks throughout the project, multi-use paths, trails, something that connects the buildings 14 and 15 to everything else. And connecting all the amenity spaces, including the westernmost amenity space. I believe that was your comment, Dushan, with the west amenity space. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, so that's so that's all part of one comment. I think that actually will bring us down 1 because of all the interconnectivity things. Okay, bird-friendly glazing for the guardrails. We might still be able to keep the glazing, but it would have to be bird-friendly. Would have to change that. Then number 4, move the 4 visitor stalls out of the amenity area. Number 5, the bioswales maybe enlarge and review their capacity to ensure that the hardscape is adequately draining and working with the bioswales. Okay, and then I think 6, my 6 here. Sorry, my numbers got all mixed up here, but a comment from Dushan about adding the trees out front of the buildings just to shield the driveway a little bit. Okay. So that was 6, yeah? Okay, so that's a total of 6 comments. So if no one has any objections to the variances, could I please have a motion to accept the project as presented with the variances and the 6 recommendations? Harry, yeah, thank you. Seconder? Kate, yeah, thank you. And all those in favor? Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much, Aman and Rebecca, for your presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, and now moving on to the next project, 5360 Bergen Op Zoom Drive. Again, Peyton Carter will be introducing the project, and we will go from there. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Development permit application number DP 1390 is for a multifamily apartment development consisting of 158 units. The subject property was recently rezoned and falls within Development Permit Area 1, Environmentally Sensitive Areas, and Development Permit Area 8. Again, our form and character development permit area. There's no encroachment proposed into the riparian area, and the new form and character design guidelines apply to this development. Again, I'm happy to take any questions following the applicant's presentation. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Peyton. Okay, and who will be presenting tonight?
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is Dariush Firuzli. I will be presenting the project.
Welcome,
Also,
Daria.
we have landscape architect and civil engineer with me for any question.
Wonderful. Okay, please
hello.
go ahead and share your screen.
Thank you. Just someone can confirm if can see the.
Yes, we can see. Thank you.
Okay, that's wonderful. So the property.
Sorry, just
in-
one thing. We do see the slides on the left-hand side. I'm not sure if you want to show that or not. It's up to you.
Can remove that one, I guess. Then change.
Just go to view, Dariush, and then do slideshow. So go to view at the top of your screen.
Yeah.
To the right, Or it says slideshow there too.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go to slideshow. Sorry. I didn't see slideshow there.
Slide.
At the top again. Right to the right. There you go. Slideshow.
Okay, right. Doesn't.
Hmm.
I guess we are okay with doing this. Also help me actually go back and forth. I know.
Yeah, the top left there, I think from beginning, we'll play it as a slideshow.
Yeah.
Right below your mouse. Down. Oh.
Let's.
That's a little sort of square with the green triangle in it at the top left. It's from beginning or from current slide would probably work. Either one of those buttons should start it.
Sorry.
That's just on the left, like in that light gray band.
Yeah, there is.
Right there, that one.
Sorry, it doesn't look like doing anything. So I'm gonna continue with this.
That's okay, Dariush. Yeah, no worries. Yeah.
I don't want to miss more of my time, 15 minutes. So the area we have here is basically located between the Island Highway, Virgin Oak Zoom Drive, accessing from there. And it is actually a very familiar site for me because we did work in a couple of years ago back in the property below at the south. It is around 10 meters below the highway. Currently, there's just one home existed there. We did rezone the property last year to R8. And its zoning is R8. This is a view from Island Highway. As you see, the lots of trees, and as mentioned, it's 10 meters below this highway. A couple of the projects around the area, and as you all know, the Metro Drive has a big upgrade recently, which make it very nice and quite actually one of the best streets at the town. These are the couple of the homes and ranchers around the property in Virgin Oak Zoom Drive and the other road. Here is basically where you enter into the property. These are the projects actually south of this. We've just built it a couple of years ago. 4-story apartment building. One thing, part of this development was they created the parkland and then has a basically right of way for pedestrian to go through here, and part of our commitment on rezoning application to have this right of way 3 meters bike and pedestrian connection to the things which is already there. Yeah, basically we are having the two buildings, 5-story with underground parking and some surface parkings at the property. The building form and character is very similar to what we done in the last project, and actually we did in the same developer in north of Nanaimo, 5-story just recently finished there. What we're going to do with in terms of the differentiating two building, switching the colors and the panels from top to bottom and creating one lighter scheme and one darker scheme, and also changing the entrance in terms of the the how the canopy works and the background brick work and colors. These are the building A and these are building B. These are some rendering for the projects. Basically, you are coming to the one big open space, which you can see the both entrance for the buildings. And it's very clear. It's basically very simple, easy. I forgot to mention this project is rental projects. It's very important to tenants to easily find the places and even for guests. That's why is, as I said, is very simple design, straight lines, modern looks. Part of the our rezoning application was to study the basically shade, make sure we are not providing any much shade to the neighbor. Those are all done in study. We also, in terms of the things as the projects, as you will see, we can go up to 40%. We had just 14% lot coverage. Density, we could go 1.25. We were almost 1. We are way below the density. The only variance we're gonna ask is height variance of 4.53 meters. It looks like a much, but as our building is really in the lower area, it's not going to be really seen more than 1 or 2 floor at most in highway side. And in terms of the parking, we are providing like 11 parking stall more. One of the design feature for our developer for this type of the project, which they have done lots of them, is most of the parking at the area at the site will be basically sorry, my words, I think end of the day is I'm tired and old. Basically absorbing the water and not basically hard service. It is hard service, but absorb the water. So with this, I am done for architectural. I will ask Dylan or Yang, if one of you guys.
Thanks. Thank you, Dariush. My name is Dylan Chernoff, and I'm a principal with DK and the project landscape architect. The new development will attempt to retain the existing trees where possible and feasible, and introduce new trees throughout the site. A circle with accent paving and a rain garden beyond will welcome people to the site. Buffering will be provided at the edges of the site, and on-site landscape will be a combination of formal and natural planting. More formal planting will separate the ground-oriented units from the public realm in an otherwise predominantly naturalized approach to the landscape. Bike racks will be provided proximate to the building entries, and amenity patios have been located adjacent to the building amenity rooms to allow for events programmed to spill out and animate the corners of the building. As mentioned, the multi-use path will connect Bergadop Zoom with Dublin Park, with trees and lighting lining the walk. The preliminary lighting plan has been included to show the general intent, but photometric studies and specifications will be prepared in the design development stages of the project. Permeable pavers are proposed in the parking stalls, and a series of rain gardens will work together with the pavers and soft landscape to manage the stormwater. Next slide, please. The first of the two sections are along the south property line and show the interface with the park and also the neighboring lot. The next two sections are cut through each of the building entries, one through the multi-use path and the other through the parking. And the final section shows the proposed berm that faces the highway with planting to provide a buffer, and the intent is to have it at the top so that it provides the most impact. Next slide, please. A mix of native and adaptive drought-tolerant plant material is proposed for the landscape areas. Evergreen shrubs, perennials, and grasses will comprise the majority of the plant palette, providing seasonal interest in a variety of habitat. In addition to the visual interest, the soft landscape areas will provide habitat and stormwater benefits. And I'll turn it back to Dariush or to Sybil.
Thank you, Hilton. Scott, you wanted to talk about the civil?
Sure. Can you guys hear me?
Yep, we can.
Okay. Actually, probably easiest to start, Dariush, if you just go to the next slide there. That's just the servicing. Yeah, so servicing for the project is fairly straightforward. We're going to be pulling water servicing off of Bergen op Zoom Drive. You can kind of see the blue at the bottom of the page there, which will come off, feed fire and domestic water supply to both buildings, as well as adding an on-site hydrant. Sanitary sewer, you can see it's kind of in pink at the top, towards the top of the page. We'll go to an existing sanitary sewer that runs through a right-of-way through the property. And then storm sewer is a little more comprehensive, kind of as Dylan mentioned, it's predominantly through rain gardens. There's three kind of main rain gardens, one in the middle of the parking, and then one kind of at either end of the building that's closer to the highway there. And as much as possible, water will be sort of split between those three to kind of disperse it over as large an area as possible, kind of mimic how the site functions currently. The sort of undeveloped area that we're sort of not doing anything in to the north of that building, kind of between the building and the highway, has kind of been previously identified as an already kind of wet area. So that sort of area will provide, more basically extra soils to absorb stormwater and overflow paths from the rain gardens as it carries forward towards the highway. At the end, there's a water course that runs through the property already that accepts drainage. So essentially trying to mimic as closely as possible what already happens there where water lands on the site, is retained in the soils and migrates sort of underground, or in a big storm event flows overland into that water course and flows away. If you go down to the next one there, this is sort of an off-site plan for Bergen op Zoom Drive, kind of all the way out to Metro. This has been sort of partially coordinated with the city and IMO's engineering staff so far, and it just basically involves some water servicing upgrades to add a larger water main pipe to provide water to the site, as well as divert stormwater from that lands on the Bergen op Zoom Drive roadway, actually currently just sort of splashes overland onto the development property. So I'm not sure if you can see that green line there. We'll be adding a system of catch basins to intercept that water and then sort of run it sort of past our development along into that water course again. And I think that about covers it. Yeah, the first drawing there was just these sort of surface works that Dariush covered with the site access and that pedestrian interconnect.
Thank you very much, Scott. Curtis, do you have anything to add, or?
Nope, I think you guys covered it well. Nothing more that I can add that you haven't already said. So thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. So we are here. If there is any question for us, I'm gonna stop sharing.
Okay. Thank you, Dariush and Dylan and Scott, for the in-depth presentation. Now the panel has the opportunity to ask questions of our city planner, Peyton. Does anyone have any questions? Okay. In that case, we'll move on to comments and questions from staff. We will start with Alex, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And thank you for the presentation. Yeah, I think it'll be a great fit for this part of the city. Metro Drive is a really good connector to Woodgrove. And I think with that connection you're going to have running past the one building, it's going to be a really good fit. I think there was a lot of good thought put into the water management for this property. And in regards to the height variance, I think it makes sense for this location. It just makes sense, and it doesn't seem too major. And then also there was a staff comment regarding bird safe glass, which I think definitely makes sense because there's a lot of glass in this building, especially with the balcony railings. And yeah, I'm excited to see this project go through. I think it's a great fit for the neighborhood, and thanks again.
Okay, thank you, Alex. And Councillor Eastmer? Okay. Oh, yeah.
Sorry about that. Yes, thank you. Yeah, agree with actually the comments that were just made about the bird-friendly glazing and yeah, it being in an appropriate area for this. Sorry, I just have my other comments here. Yeah, I think there was a staff comment about the amenity areas, making sure that they're programmed for intentional use, which I think maybe is just like a bit more seating and yeah, I think that was all my comments for this. I'm happy to see this, and I think it's a nice looking development and yeah, important infill. So thank you for bringing this forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Dushan?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I do have a few comments. I'm going to start from existing landscape on the site, what it's there, and it seems like from the couple of shots that Dariush presented, we have quite amazing trees on the landscape, quite tall, and they are very aesthetically pleasing to the area where the buildings are and where we have the entrance. It would be sad to see them go. And if we can, kind of the recommendation or maybe a advice or a tip would be if we can relocate them to accommodate that driveway. And I see that there's a fire truck circulation area right there, which needs replacement or relocation or even the removal of those trees. I think maybe that can be a bit better design in order to retain the landscape, at least at the entry area. And there is at least two reasons I can see that from the heritage perspective and retaining the landscape. And also we have the two new buildings that are requiring the variance of going 4 meters higher. And as said before, we have an existing development right next to it with the similar building going on. But in regards to the larger context of the area, there are usually single family homes around in order to have a bit of let's say secluded landscape. That's the main reason why I think we can save those trees and maybe hide such a great difference in the heights between existing single-family housing and then multifamily housing that we see on this site. The next thing would be that I personally don't mind the variance, although I believe that yes, amenity space can be utilized better here, and we can see that even with the sustainability levels, we can maybe introduce some new ways of green building, like green roofs, or even the amenity space on the roofs, or at least half of the roof. That way, the design of this landscape, because I see that it's mostly covered by trees and required parking lots, maybe we can utilize it in the other ways. Also, on the point of protecting the area from the highway and soundproofing the landscape, since these buildings are quite higher, they will be exposed more to the highway noise, and we need to think just to make sure that we have enough green barrier there that can protect the noise from the buildings. And I assume that glazing on the windows will be double glazed, and it's just making sure that the residents who are going to be living there have the most comfort. On the point of the building design, I have nothing against the building design itself. Maybe changing a bit of variations in some details on the design, because as the current development that it's happening next to it has a very similar building design to it. I wouldn't say aesthetically the same, but I can see a very good connection in between. So maybe changing the colors or even variations in different materials would be a nice break of seeing happening on the site. And that's mostly I have that I can think of right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Dushan. Kate?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's great to see stormwater management is a big priority on the site. Yeah, I would second Dushan's comments that the loss of those mature trees at the entrance, I would recommend it is reviewed to see how some of them can be retained. I would recommend, if I heard correctly, it sounds like there's actually providing more than the minimum requirement of surface parking stalls. I'd recommend that is reviewed. It currently looks like there's a large number of surface parking stalls, and I would second then the city's comments about looking at reducing that number of surface parking stalls. The size of the outdoor amenity patios appear to be insufficiently sized for the number of new units that are being added on this space, including the indoor amenity space. So I would recommend looking at both increasing the size of the outdoor amenity areas as well as providing active programming, since there is no rooftop amenity space. It currently looks like that could be added. There is second the comments, there's a large concrete facade wall. So recommend looking at a higher quality finish for that, or at least providing some screening from planting to that. I think that's it. The rest, yeah, it's great to see.
Okay, thank you, Kate. Jessica?
Hello. Again, my comments are going to support most of what's already been said. My initial impression of looking at the overall site plan is that there is a lot of parking and paving. And so if there were any way to reduce the number of parking stalls, there just seems like there's a lot of surface parking. And thinking about the building being composed mostly of studio one-bedroom, smaller units, and it being a rental building, it seems like alternative forms of transportation, providing car share program opportunities in the site, bike share opportunities in the site, and then increasing the pedestrian and multi-use alternative transportation paths throughout the site would be beneficial for the population of people that would potentially live in that building. So yeah, my comments are mostly just about including the ensuring that the pedestrian active transportation network is connected and more connected through the entire property, and with the trail that connects the parks. Maybe reviewing the parking requirements with the addition of car share and bike share programs, and then also supporting the staff comment about the exposed concrete wall in the east elevations on both buildings is quite large, and so screening it with landscaping would be one solution to visually make that look better. And that's the end of my comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica. And Harry?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you for the presentation. Yeah, I'm generally supportive of the proposal as presented. I agree with the other panel members with the concrete walls on the parkade to do either a better finish or disguise them with landscaping. But other than that, yeah, it's a nice project, and I'm looking forward to see it come to fruition. It looks good. I like the connection to Metro Drive too. It's an added bonus. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Harry, and thank you, panel members, for the lively discussion. And so it looks like we have 10 comments. I don't have anything to add. I do also support the height variance, and do agree basically with everything. So we'll just get through it. There are 10 comments. So number 1 is bird safe glass, please. Number 2, this is to do with amenity areas. There's 3 comments regarding amenity areas, and we're going to keep them as separate points because they're all interesting and important. So amenity areas, keep them programmed for intentional use, so provide seating. And then we're going to skip over a couple, but we're going to do number 3, if possible, save the trees at the front of the entrance to help screen some of the building from the rest of the adjacent buildings, and also because they're beautiful. It's 3. Number 4 is the second comment regarding amenity spaces. That's to consider a green roof or an amenity space on the roof. Okay, number 5. Create a green barrier to shield the building from highway noise. And I agree with Dushan on this one. On other projects that I've worked on, we've actually used 3-paned glass for that purpose. So just on those 2 stories that are exposed to the highway, that would actually help quite a bit. So that's the 5th point. Number 6, considering changing the color to distinguish from adjacent development. Okay, number 7, and this one is the one that really stuck out to me very strongly, is to reduce the parking to the minimum and paving as well. I'm not sure, and I kind of missed it in the drawings, but there's no underground parking, or is there? Sorry.
There is the boat building, they do have an underground.
They
park.
do. Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so there's a lot. Yeah. So if we can diminish some of the surface parking and give back some green space would be wonderful. Okay. And then number 8, just increase the size of the amenity space. I feel like a lot of these, if you hit one of them, you'll hit a few, right? The reducing some of the paving and increasing some of the amenity space. But yeah, let's keep that as a separate point as well. And then number 9, concrete facade wall screening. That would be good. Also, if there's opportunities for windows, that could help as well. Okay, and number 10 is providing alternative transport opportunities in the way of car share, bike share, scooters, anything like that. Okay, so that's all 10 comments. From what I gathered is that there is no real opposition to the 4.5 meter height variance as presented. So can I get a motion to approve this project moving forward with the 10 recommendations as presented? Harry, thank you. Seconder? Jessica and Alex? All those in favor? Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, thank you, Dariush and team.
Thank you.
Yeah, great.
Thanks, everyone.
All right.
Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, bye-bye. Thank you. Okay. Okay, and I don't believe we have any other business, so can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting? Okay, thank you, Harry. Seconder, Dushan, thank you all, and everyone
Thanks,
in
everyone.
favor.